All right, guys, we are going to do a review of our grammar chapter that we've been working on with other kinds of verbs. So we're just going to go quickly through that review and you will take a photo of that today. All right, so we talked about linking verbs. Okay, so trying to find my notes that I did. Okay, so linking verbs are not action verbs, okay? Action verbs is what we typically think of when we think of a verb. It's what the subject does in the sentence. It shows the action, what the subject is doing. So remember, action verbs show what the subject is doing. So like swims or listens, shivers, those are all verbs, something that the subject of the sentence could be doing. Okay, so that's action verbs. Then we talked about linking verbs, and linking verbs show what the subject is or is like. So the linking verbs don't really show any action. Linking verbs are is or are, am, and then it gives, and then the rest of the sentence goes back to that subject. So we always think of linking verbs sort of like an equal sign in the sentence. Okay, so here are some examples. Today was cloudy. So when you think about this, you need to think about what is the subject. Well, the subject is about today, okay? So is today doing anything? No, okay? It's just showing was, that is a linking verb, and then it links cloudy to today. So when we draw arrows on that, we go from the subject, what is this sentence about, okay? The sentence is about today, and we draw an arrow, and the arrow is kind of like the equal sign. Today and cloudy go together, and this linking verb makes that a complete sentence. Today was cloudy. Okay, so now we have you are kind, so the sentence is about you, that's the subject. Are is our linking verb, and then it links kind to you. So you equals kind, all right? So we just draw an arrow from you to kind, and that's what are is doing. It's linking these two words together. Okay, it's like the equal sign. Okay, her shirt is yellow. So what is this sentence about? What's the subject? The subject is shirt, right? Her shirt. And is the shirt doing anything? No, it's just being something, right? It's being yellow. And so is, right here, is our linking verb, and it's linking shirt to yellow. So the linking verb renames something or describes something, okay? So that's what it is doing. It's linking a describing or a renaming word to the subject. All right, last sentence. That boy was my student. Okay, so the subject is boy, right? And is the boy really doing anything? No, I'm just kind of renaming, right? He was my student. So I'm going to say boy and student. That is renaming that boy. And was is the linking verb that puts that all together in the sentence. Okay, now we talked about one other kind of linking verb, and that is called a helping verb. Okay, so it's the same thing: is, are, am, were, was. All of those are linking verbs, but when we put them with an action verb, they're not really doing the job of linking, where it's helping us to rename or describe a subject. It's actually working with the action verb. And I know that's a little bit confusing, so I drew a little, this is the superhero, and this is the helping verb, okay? So the superhero is the action figure, and the helper is his little sidekick that helps him out, right? So you know how a lot of superheroes have a helping sidekick. That's what a helping verb does, okay? So it helps, helping verbs help the action verb, okay? So still we have verbs, just like our linking verbs, is, are, am, was, were, but the difference is they are not standalone where they just connect the subject to another word. They're actually making the action clearer. They're helping the action verb. Okay, so here we have a sample. The superhero was flying. So now see, this was is going with flying. So we know that this was happening in the past. The helping verb helps us to know that this was in the past. So was flying. This is a helping verb because it makes flying a little bit more clear. We know when he was flying. Okay? All right, next sentence. his sidekick is helping him. So his sidekick, this little guy, right? He's the helping verb. The sidekick is helping. Okay, so we could say the sidekick helps him, but we want to say like it's happening right at this moment. So we say the sidekick is helping. Okay, is the helping verb, and it helps the action verb helping. Okay, last one. They are capturing the criminal. So here's our helping verb, and what does it go with to make our action clearer? It goes with capturing. So here is the helping verb down here, are, and then here's the action verb capturing right there. Okay, so helping verbs always go with an action verb. A linking verb is just like an equal sign in the sentence. There's not going to be an action verb. It's just giving us, links the description with the subject. Okay, so I know that was a little bit confusing, so hopefully that cleared it up, and if you're not clear, please watch it one more time just to make sure. Okay, so you guys are going to complete your chapter 11 review, and I want you to do this really carefully. I'm not going to give you a test on this chapter, so this is going to act like a quiz for this chapter. Could I be noisier? Okay, so chapter 11, I want you to take a look at, and we're just going to go through the instructions. I'm not going to help you with the problems. I just want to make sure that you understand the instructions, okay? So for section A, it says underline the main word of the subject part once, okay? So I would recommend just going through all of these and underline the subject. So you're thinking, who or what is this sentence about? And you're going to underline that once. And then you're going to go up to the second part of the instructions and underline the verb twice. It says underline the verb twice. So you'll have your subject underlined once, and then you're going to find the verb, and you're going to underline that twice. Okay, after you've done that, you're going to write, if the verb is an action verb, you'll write A. And if the verb is a linking verb, you're going to write L. So remember, action is really going to show some kind of action, and a linking verb is just going to give more of a description to the subject, okay? The verb will not show action if it's linking. If it does show action, it'll be A for action. Okay, next next part. So remember, there are three parts to this. You're underlining the subject once, you're underlining the verb twice, and then you're writing A or L for action or linking. All right, section B, you're going to underline each linking verb twice. So they already let you know that these are all linking verbs here. Okay, so you're going to find that linking verb. What is the equal sign in the sentence? All right, the pretend equal sign. And you'll underline that twice. And then you're going to draw an arrow linking the main word of the subject to the noun or adjective in the predicate that describes or renames. So just like in our linking verbs here, remember today was the subject, cloudy was the description, so I drew an arrow from today to cloudy. Okay, you was the subject, kind was the description, so I drew an arrow from you to kind, and that's what you're going to be doing here. Okay, section C, write H if the underlined verb, okay, so each of the verbs are underlined for you. So you're going to mark H if it's a helping verb. Okay, does this go with an action verb, or is it just linking the subject in the description? Okay, and remember, our helping verb is the little superhero sidekick that goes with the action verb. So look and see, is there an action verb also in this sentence, or is it just linking a subject to a description? So if it's a helping verb and it has an action verb with it, you'll write H. If it's just standalone and it's just making a connecting the subject with a description or renaming, you'll write L for linking. Okay, next part is you're going to write the definition for each of these, so you'll put the letter on the line. Okay, next slide. Page 206. Okay, so then you have to choose about, you need to choose the correct tense of the verb. So remember, we always have to look and see, is the subject singular or plural? And so you'll have to choose the right one and make sure you're reading super carefully. so that it all makes sense. Read it out loud. Okay, so you're just going to underline the correct verb twice, whichever one is correct in the parentheses. Okay, next section, you're writing contractions. So remember, we had 2 lessons about writing contractions. One was with the word not, and we would write the word, then we'd write the N, and then an apostrophe and T. Remember, we use the apostrophe for letters that we take out. Okay, and then we had some contractions that we made with verbs. So remember, whatever letters we take out, we replace them with an apostrophe. Okay, these have to be written correctly. Okay, next we talked very briefly on Friday about these 2 things: adding an ER to a verb to make it a noun. Okay, so that's all you have to do is make this a noun and make this a noun. Okay, and make it fit in the sentence. And then we're going to just choose the correct homophone for this sentence. Okay, read very carefully. Okay, and send in a photo. That's it for today.